Hi, welcome back. Oh,
Oh,
all
no.
right. It has been a while. Lights.
We saw Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
We did. You had the much better Return movie.
That's
Dave and I
true.
were at Space Jam last night.
He said to me, he said, Brad wants me to go see Space Jam, but if you need me to stay here and help with the baby, I don't mind. I'm like, no, you go see Space Jam, honey.
Were you like...
It's very important you make your presence known on the website.
This is what I'm just picturing. It's one of those honey, do you want to go see Space Jam with your
Yes.
friend? Please? Okay. Given Dave's reaction to that movie, he'd be kicking himself in that situation.
He's not, he has a very low tolerance for nostalgic kitsch.
Not 1996 nostalgic kitsch. Sorry.
Not so much.
Nothing with the phrase, hoop, there it is. This is a better movie than Space Jam, is what I'm trying to say.
You were telling me about Hoop, there it is. It took me an embarrassingly long amount of time to figure out that that was a genuine pun within the movie and not just you hilariously pronouncing Hoop wrong.
Oh no, I was just quoting 1996.
Oh, 1996. You were bad at things.
Well, it's probably better than that movie with Dennis Rodman where he joins a ragtag team of midget basketball players. That's a movie that I own.
What? My brain is racing to try and guess the horrible title it probably has.
The Minis.
Oh no. So it's not like Tippy Toes bad, but it's pretty bad.
You know what? It's probably better and slightly more dignified than that. And that movie has several scenes. The Minis has several scenes where they just end up in the garbage can. Ah! All right, let me help you out.
And then when they're probably actually played by little people.
Yeah,
Not just Gary Oldman on his knees.
I really enjoy playing with you guys.
Us too.
But anyway, I don't know if we should review this movie or the screaming girls who are outside the theater, all dressed up.
Pretty cool. Well, there was the dressed up ones waiting in line, asking the other ones that apparently they knew, like, oh my god, how
They were
was
all
it?
dressed up.
Hey, it was so good.
Yeah, one of them, a group of dressed up ones came up to that group of dressed up ones, and they were yelling at each other not to give away spoilers.
Spoiler alert, it's exactly how you'd expect this movie to be.
Actually, I didn't really know what to expect going into it. The trailers for it I thought were perfectly fine, but this isn't really a movie series or a book series that I'm particularly an expert on, so I didn't really know what to expect going into it.
This movie is basically an episode of Scooby-Doo.
It's a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
It's
not bad. No, I want to say, starting out, that I did enjoy it.
No, so did I.
I'm not bitching about it. I did have some issues with it.
I do too, but the girls back in there were so happy, where I'm like, well, who am I to judge?
It's also been so long since they've had anything Harry Potter related that they're kind of you're kind of starving for it in the fandom, I think. So whereas it wasn't anything to write home about, but it wasn't bad.
No, you know, and if comparing this to The Hobbit, this is a vastly more enjoyable film. Things happen in this movie.
Yeah, I was happy with the pacing. This didn't feel like the first half of a movie, you know. I was a little annoyed by some of the stuff that happened at the end, but I'm sure we'll get to that. But for the most part, it's just kind of a predictable sort of, like, he's in New York, oh no, his monsters escape. That ends up making him need to solve a bigger mystery. Meanwhile, two random characters get paired off. Two other random characters get set up like they're going to get paired off eventually. And get a bunch of crazy whodunits.
The movie for the first half hour or so, I was actually kind of struggling with because it didn't have a lot of focus.
Literally or figuratively, because I was getting a headache towards the middle.
I never got a headache out of the movie, but
the problem is there's a lot of insects, and they kept being like...
Oh, I was totally cool with that. Like, honestly, this was some of my favorite 3D I'd seen in a long time.
It was pretty. It was just really hard to focus on. So
there is a lot of that stuff. If you don't care much for 3D, why the fuck are you seeing this in 3D? But this has sequences in it that look like it's like one of those 3D theme park attractions.
Yeah.
Like, whether it's papers flying at the screen, smoke,
Like
bugs,
a snake, popcorn.
snakes. Like, it looks great. The 3D is absolutely fantastic. And it's been a while since I've really mentioned 3D in any of these movies we've gone to see. Like, seeing this in IMAX is probably fucking amazing.
Yeah, I'll
or
bet.
D-Box. But for the first hour or so of it, I was like, I'm not sure where this movie's going. Like, and I don't mean that as in I think it's unpredictable. I mean, I don't know what this movie's about. Like, because, okay, here's Eddie Redmayne and Dan Fogler doing their thing, and then we're jumping back and forth with Ezra Miller and also the investigators. It's kind of going a little all over the place here. Like, I was having trouble picking anything to kind of focus on in the first part of it.
Yeah, mostly it was just like, I think they were setting us up to track down his beasties and get that settled before they went into the wider whodunit. But that they kept like dropping hints, like the whole like you're not an R anymore for reasons we'll go into eventually. But they weren't dropping enough of them, I think. So
It felt. No, go ahead.
No, so I tend to agree with you saying.
Yeah, it felt random. Like, really random. Now, eventually it all does kind of tie together a bit, but, like, they certainly could have done a better job of giving something a little bit more focus in the first hour of it, as opposed to, here's all these different things happening, and then hopefully they all kind of merge together.
No, what they're focusing on was how adorable Jacob was. 'Cause for me, he was my favorite.
Dan
part of this movie,
Fogler?
yes.
Oh, he's hands down the best part of this movie.
Which is one of the main we're gonna get into spoilers. One of the
Yeah.
main things that annoyed me about the end is that you definitely got the impression that that's enough Dan Fogler for this movie franchise. And in that case, why do I give a shit?
I was thinking the same thing, like, because he's hands down my favorite part of this movie.
Yeah, why do I give a shit about this brown-haired lady?
Yeah, well,
She's like just kind of this streak at nothing.
yeah, I mean, she wasn't one of my favorite characters in the film, but, like, as far as Dan Fogler goes, I've always liked that guy, but he's always been in a lot of shitty movies. But he's always the best part of the shitty movies. Like, fucking Good Luck, Chuck. Like, remember Dane Cook?
I remember that movie. I'm surprised you watched it.
I did. Because why do I watch anything?
So, like, Jessica Alba is the comedy relief.
She's
or
the klutzy and Dane
she
Cook,
gets her, like, her skirt stuck in the car door and, like, everyone can see your underpants.
Yeah, and then Dan Fogler's the wacky friend, which is usually kind of what he played some time ago. But I always liked him, and always hoped, like, God, I hope he finds something that's good, because he's good in these movies, even though they're shit. This is, I'm just glad to see him back. Like, last thing I saw him in, he was on some episodes of Hannibal, but, like, the role that he fills in this movie is to basically be the audience, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he has to react to everything and in a way that, like, someone in the audience would if you have all this magic and everything thrust upon you. And he does.
What's that?
Yeah, and he does great at it. He's funny. He has the right sense of humor in all the scenes. He's incredibly relatable in the film. And then when it got to the end, when it has to do with him, they have to wipe his memory and everything. I was thinking in my head, like, I hope they don't.
I wanted them not to. I wanted them to be like, well, why don't you come with me instead? And be like the Watson to my Sherlock Holmes. And he'll be like, okay, sure.
Yeah, because the strongest parts of the movie is when he and Eddie Redmayne are together.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of wish that had way more focus than this movie, honestly, kind of feeling like an ensemble film. I wish that was really the main focus of the movie, was those two characters. And they do probably have the majority of the screen time, but there is still a lot of other shit going on in this film. But then, so I was like, well, shit, I really don't want this to be the only movie that this guy is in. Like, he's easily the best part of this. If he's not in anymore, that's really kind of a waste. But I don't know. The last scene in the movie, which I thought was a great scene. I thought it was a great scene when he walked out in the rain. It was a very emotional scene. And then the final scene with him in the spoiler, with him in the bakery, to me that felt like it was saying, like, Okay, well maybe he might turn up in one of
See-
the other ones.
For me, I thought that was more. But don't worry, him and the blonde lady still end up together.
Right.
Because he's got a bakery now. He's sedentary. You know, he can't go off on adventures with Newt. He's got a bakery to run.
Well, I mean,
I think
yeah,
that's
but Indiana Jones is also a teacher. I mean, like,
I think that's just. I'm sure it could go either way, but for me, that was more the movie assuring us as the audience of like, but he's okay. He remembers a little bit, and he gets to end up with his blonde.
and I
lady.
was fine with that. Like, I'm totally fine with that. But like, for me anyway, it was like, well, maybe there's a little bit of hope he might turn up again at some point.
Maybe.
I hope so. I certainly hope he does. I hope he does. I'm glad he got his bakery.
It's my understanding that J.K. Rowling is very like present and responsive of the internet. So maybe like if enough people are like, bring back Jacob for the other movies, maybe she'll actually listen to us. Although no one, like, I wonder if anything's gonna be done about the uproar about Johnny Depp. Did you hear about this?
No.
People are mad that Johnny Depp got hired to play the big bad in these because of the whole him and Amber Heard thing where she allegedly he beat her
Oh,
like
yeah.
a bunch before they got divorced.
Mm-hmm.
And so people are kind of upset that he's not being blackballed to some degree.
I mean, you know, Chris Brown still has a career. I mean, like,
Well, that's the thing is that, you know, I think it's one of those things where I don't really have a strong opinion one way or the other.
neither
Because,
do
you know,
I,
like, what if
'cause I
he
don't-
didn't do it?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
the thing is, she's pretty bruised up, you know. So, but
Yeah.
what if he did do it? But you know, there's go back and forth in your head. But it does seem to be very arbitrary when stuff like this happens. Who gets punished for it and who doesn't? It
Sure.
seems to just boil down to their innate likability,
Mm-hmm.
and that I don't agree with. I think if we're gonna punish people for this, we should punish them across the board. You know. Chris
Sure,
Brown
if
didn't
that's
have a career
what
for some
happened.
years, and meanwhile Woody Allen's still traipsing around like nobody's fucking business.
Woody Allen compared to who?
Chris Brown.
Oh, Chris Brown.
I think it's just because Woody Allen is innately more likable.
Yeah, he is. OJ is more likable than Chris Brown.
But at any rate, my main problem with Johnny Depp in this movie is that he showed up looking like freaking albino Mordecai. I think that they're not capable of putting him in movies anymore without shellacking his face and putting a ridiculous wig on.
I think that's just the. It doesn't even matter if it's like something shitty like fucking Yoga Hosers or a movie like this or a movie like Alice or Black Mass, which he's really great in. He will have makeup on and he will have something funky with his hair. He'll have some kind of disguise on. Like,
Crazy googly contact lens.
yeah, like you give Johnny Depp a costume, he'll be in a fucking movie about bratwurst Nazis. Because that's what fucking Yoga Hosers was.
Was he in Yoga Hosers? I knew his
Yeah,
daughter was.
he is. He plays the same character in that he did in Tusk.
Uh-huh.
That character was actually a little more tolerable in Yoga Hosers, but god damn, that was a shitty fucking movie.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he shows up at the end of this to just be, it's Johnny Depp doing his thing again.
Took off his mask and it's us crazy old man Willikers.
Yeah, like, couldn't it have just stayed Colin Farrell?
I would have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Colin Farrell is genuinely intimidating, and he's a great actor.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't make any sense to take off his mask and make him
Make him Johnny Depp.
pumpkin-headed Johnny Depp.
And look, I like Johnny Depp just fine. Like, Johnny Depp is a damn good actor, but enough is enough, man.
Yeah,
like,
just go to bed. You've had enough.
more Colin Farrell. I liked feeling that this was the same universe as Winter's Tale.
Uh-huh.
You could tell me this is the same universe and I would believe it. They both have a similar color scheme
He's
to
got
them.
the exact same hairstyle.
Yeah.
Same old big coat.
They even have similar openings, honestly, like coming in on the boat to the city and going through customs and shit. Only it's not the horse that's causing a ruckus.
It's the exploding child. But
Yeah.
that was a really cool effect what they did with that kid.
The Ezra Miller character?
Is that not Constantine?
Credence.
Credence, yeah.
Yeah. He was
He looked
kind of
kinda
terrifying
like
in
if
this.
Smoke and burned paper had a baby, and that baby had a baby with ticky tacky when you stretch it real far apart, and it gets kind of like woven towards the middle. Mm-hmm. And it was just like exploding all over the place, and just like bloof.
Yeah, it was. I liked that the villain in this movie, like, is the same kind of villain that you see in like school shooter movies. Like that it actually this movie did a much better job with that than the villain that they had in the recent Ghostbusters. That was a little similar in a way, where it was kind of like a mass murderer. Like someone just pushed that far to the edge that they're committing mass murder. This movie was, well, granted that was a comedy, but like this movie's funny too. But yeah, he was legitimately kind of creepy in this movie.
Yeah, and you felt real empathy for him,
Yeah.
because he lived a shitty life, and you could see how this would happen to a person if they were put through this. But on the other hand, he murdered a bunch of people, so
He did.
like Newt and what's her face were trying to save him, but it's like that's not gonna happen, guy. He killed like a bunch of people.
Well, don't worry, they kind of give the movie the same ending as Men in Black 2. Only they use rain instead of a beam on top of the Statue of Liberty.
Yep, rain and a fucking big ass Quetzalcoatl or whatever that bird thing was supposed to be.
Yeah, the creatures were great.
I think they were referencing to some, because there's okay, so they added on to the mythology of Harry Potter with like adding this new school in America, and that school's got 4 houses, and they like set it up on the Harry Potter website a while ago, so you could go on there and find out what your house would be if you went
enroll.
to the yes. Well, you've already having been enrolled,
Oh, okay.
and found out what your house was and what your wand was and what your Patronus was. Now you can find out what school you'd be, what house you'd be in if you went to school in America to be a wizard. And I think that they, like, I took the quiz. God help me, I can't remember what I got. I think it was the Ravenclaw analog, which just makes sense.
Take it and I'll get Lincoln Land Community College. Fuck.
It's just like a vole.
Yeah, it's like, oh good, I can drop out again.
But I think like they're like offhand referencing not just the conversation that they had where it's like Hogwarts is better. Pooh, hogwash, my school was better. But like there was stuff like the president had this bird thing on her back that I think was the sigil for one of the houses, and like Colin Farrell had a very particularly colored scarf, and probably that was the color of one of the schools. So I think we're gonna end up finding out that there was a bunch of Easter eggs like that, and it's just that
I'm sure.
I don't pay attention so much anymore, so I didn't catch most.
I got other shit to do. I have time to pay attention to these Easter eggs.
Man, like, I'm not all high and mighty. I pay attention to stuff. Like I said, I took the damn quiz. I just don't have the brain capacity to keep track of it all anymore.
What'd you think of Eddie Redmayne in the movie?
He was fantastic. This whole movie kind of felt more like a Doctor Who episode.
Thank
than it
you.
did a Harry Potter movie, and I think it was mostly because of Eddie Redmayne and his super sincere flopping around.
Yeah.
It felt like he was playing Doctor Who.
Yeah, I was thinking that a lot in this movie, and I don't even watch Doctor Who. And I was like, well, here's Eddie Redmayne auditioning to be the next Doctor.
Well, apparently he did an interview recently where he said he'd played the Doctor, although that's not going to happen if he's going to be in 5 more movies. But I couldn't tell if it was because I've been rewatching all the episodes and we're right in the middle of Matt Smith where he's at his most super sincere and floppity. But it felt like, and here's Newt. And then Newt would flop around and...
I don't think it is that, because I don't watch Doctor Who, and I was thinking the same thing.
Okay.
I was totally thinking the same thing when watching this movie. I was like, oh, it's Eddie Redmayne's back from Comic-Con. He's his favorite Doctor. I don't know which one.
So he was fine, he was super charismatic, and it felt like the Doctor. But I like Doctor Who, so that's why I like the movie.
He was fine. There was a lot of times I couldn't really understand a lot of what he was saying, and because of that, I was glad he had like Dan Fogler there and some other people. Aside from the fact that Fogler was by far my favorite character in the movie.
He didn't really talk much, and he was
Redmayne.
Yeah, and he was making a lot of faces where it didn't really fit the situation, the face that he was making.
Yeah.
Which is also another reason it felt like Doctor Who, because almost sort of alien, his
Mm-hmm.
reaction to stuff. But yeah, I think that's why you kind of need a Dan Fogarty
Exactly.
character. I
Yeah.
wanted to call him Dan Fogarty, but I didn't know his actual name.
John Fogerty
Yes.
fighting the rest of Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Credence, get it? Anyway. But it's an interesting character. I don't know how I'm going to feel about it just being him in the next movie. Sure.
Exactly.
I hope they pick him another guy everyman sidekick for the next one.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they bring back Dan Fogler. Damn it. Son of a bitch. And it'll be, let's bring back Curtis Armstrong.
I don't know who that is.
Booger, Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh yeah.
Or, it'll be Josh Gad. Wait, I don't like that at all.
I would probably watch it because I like Josh Gad.
Mm.
He's another guy I feel like he's been in a lot of really, really shitty movies, but I always like him in it. I know
Not
you don't
really.
like his voice.
Nah, you know, there's I've seen him in some things where I've liked him fine. And I'm not saying this to be a smartass. I can't think of what. I legitimately can't, but I know there has been. I know
It was
there
the
has.
first half of that Best Man movie. He was.
I
in with
missed
Kevin
that.
Hart.
I
It
was-
Frozen.
Oh, yeah, I mean, Frozen's fine. He was on The Daily Show for a little bit. He was fine on there.
Uh-huh.
God, I can't think of what else. But I enjoy Dan Fogler better than I do Josh Gad.
Oh, I enjoyed him. Like I wouldn't have liked that character if it was Josh Gad.
No,
it would have been
ugh.
too shrieky. I think that one of the nice things about that character is he kind of just took everything in stride.
Yeah.
You kill that mosquito.
Yeah, sure, right there.
Is it already dead?
Is that
Okay.
even a mosquito?
That's weird. A spot of dirt, exactly mosquito shaped. Or maybe
Dave will get in the car. Who scraped off my door poop?
who scraped off my mosquito drawing?
You're weird, Dave. You've gotten weird. What has being a stay-at-home dad done to you?
Nothing, man. I've always been like this. Drawing more mosquitoes.
No, you haven't, Dave. Remember you scribbling fly poop on the wall? I missed that.
You just never caught him at it.
Old Dave would have loved Space Jam.
Old Dave would have been high as the goddamn sky and would have loved staring at a blank screen for 3 hours.
Wishing it was Space Jam.
I can see the Space Jam, Brad. I am the Space Jam.
I wish you were there when we were at Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
I don't like that movie.
No, but it would have been worth it, because sitting in a movie like that next to Grumpy Dave, holy shit, when he was sitting there like, you're just fucking wasting chocolate.
That is the best reaction to that movie I've ever heard.
He's sitting there, the part where Grandpa Joe gets the candy bar from under the pillow and gives it to Charlie. Dave's just like, if Charlie didn't buy it, who did, you lazy old sack of shit? Worth it.
Which part did he think they were wasting chocolate?
The opening credits, when it's like all the chocolate getting made and everything. Just like, they're just fucking wasting chocolate. Sons of fucking bitches. That was the best experience I've ever had watching that movie.
It's like watching, was it Man vs. Food with Brian?
Yes, where he just looks like he wants to punch the screen just so his pain will stop.
We really like watching our friends and loved ones watch things they hate.
We do.
We do.
We built a show around it.
That's why we showed everyone A Winter's Tale for Christmas party.
Great movie. Great fucking
To
movie.
figure out what to watch this Christmas.
Yeah, it'll be something.
Nothing terrible has come out this last year.
Whoa, it's been...
Nothing Christmas themed terrible
Oh,
has come out
okay.
this past year. We can watch Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
No, the 3D version. That one's creepy. Oh, Phelan did a review of that.
Oh no,
It's-
I meant to like the Only Time Claymation one. Where
Oh,
like, I
you
want
want
to
the-
be a dentist.
Oh, you want this one? It's much creepier. It's like a 3D sequel, and it's terrifying.
Is it like a genuine sequel, like Yukon and Cornelius? And them?
Yeah, it's
I'm kind of on board with that.
yeah, it is. It's I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, he did a video on it. He did a few Rudolph things. Would you recommend this?
I would. I mean, like if you like Harry Potter, you're gonna go see it, whether I recommend it to you or not.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as far as like if you're like me, where I've only seen like 4 of the other movies, and they were fine. I just haven't seen all of them. Seen every E.T. porno, but not every Harry Potter movie.
Which 4 have you seen?
Of Harry Potter or
Yeah.
E.T. the porno?
Oh no, Harry Potter.
The first 3 and then the very last one.
Like Deathly Hallows Part 2?
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't need to see any of the middling ones.
Right. Yeah, skip to the end. I'm good.
So you haven't, because Goblet of Fire is probably my favorite one.
I haven't seen. Well, I
That's
saw the
the
first
4th
half
one.
hour of that.
Okay. Maybe we'll do that for Christmas. Just sit everyone down and make them watch all the Harry Potter movies.
I'll do
my
it.
friends.
I'll do it. Why not?
Yeah.
And I enjoyed this movie. I did. I mean, it kind of took a while for it to catch up to me a little bit, but by the end of it, I had a good time.
Yeah, the time flies, and it's
Mm-hmm.
it's watchable.
It's a sweet movie. It actually is a very adorable film, and there is a lot of good emotion in it, especially in some of the goodbyes at the end of the movie. Every scene with Dan Fogler works in this film.
Yeah, and the critters are adorable. I
Yeah,
felt
they really
like
are.
there's like a little stick guy who lives on his shirt.
Yeah.
And like a thieverous mole.
There were great sequences in this movie that felt like a Warner Brothers cartoon.
It did. I was gonna say it felt
Yeah.
like what is it? Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd.
Yeah. Yeah, like a Bugs Bunny's got to stop something that keeps stealing from jewelry stores.
Yes.
Like it makes sense. This is a Warner Brothers movie. This is a better Warner Brothers cartoon than Space Jam is.
Yeah, go see it.
Yeah, trailers. We got a bunch. I did see 'em.
Yeah, The Space Between Us. This is very heavy on the trailers that I've already seen a bunch of times.
Yeah, Space Between Us looks fine.
Yeah. Passengers. Okay, I hadn't seen this trailer before. I probably won't be at this one. But
It looks. I've been looking forward to for that movie for a while because I've heard about it for a long time. At one point, Keanu Reeves was signed on to it, and I really.
Chris Pratt and
Now it's Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence, but I've been waiting for this movie to get made because I love that synopsis. I love the plot line of this movie. It's kind of horrifying when you fucking break it down.
Yeah, I noped this one. I don't like people being stuck in space. I
Even
don't like
with
people getting shot out in space. I don't like
even with robot Michael Sheen.
Robot Michael Sheen. I was totally on board. I was like, oh hey, look, the Robot Michael Sheen. Oh, they're in space. Nope. I'm not doing that. Fucking the lights went out, and then one of them just shoots out into space. I'm not watching that. I went and saw Gravity with your ass.
We saw Gravity.
It was because no one else would go.
Is that why?
I don't remember. I think you remembered that I hate space movies, and you're like, "Hey, Sarah, come see Gravity with me."
That's probably it. It could be. I think I was at I think that I might have been at 2 movies that night.
I don't rightly recall. I just remember I was expecting to be super, super stressed out. It wasn't as stressful as I expected it to be, but it was still very much people trapped in space.
It is. It's amazing.
And this is that with Chris. I was thinking during that preview that Chris Pratt is either going to have like staying power and age gracefully like Harrison Ford, or he's going to be this decade's Steve Guttenberg, and I'm on board with either of those two options.
Me too.
Because he's that kind of like affable good guy.
Yeah.
Hello. I don't know who that is. Very affable, charming, period specific, good looking guy. So, he's very Gutenberg-ish.
I'm all for the second coming of Gutenberg. It's about fucking time. Now he just
We've been waiting.
needs to star in the remake of Can't Stop the Music.
Start the remake of Three Men and a Baby.
Damn right.
It's
Oh, no.
funny because men can't raise babies.
Right? What the hell?
What are you doing?
Science fiction.
You guys. Power Rangers. That looks good. I was a little too old for Power Rangers. But
So was I.
I have a little brother, and so I'd watch it with him. So I don't know a lot about like the specifics, but I've seen a bunch of episodes, so I know the hilarious bits, like Rita and her headaches.
Yeah. Yeah,
Zordon and his tube.
I was a little too old for that. It's a couple of years past my time, and I don't have any siblings or anything like that, so I never had like a younger brother or sister around that I'd have to watch it with. So Power Rangers was never anything that I got into. So as far as this movie goes, I'm more interested in this than I have been for really anything related to Power Rangers.
Well, did you watch that, like, the Gritty reboot?
Oh,
preview?
that. Yeah, I saw that. The
was
James
really good.
Vanderbeek one.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, so I'm coming at it from a completely different perspective than people who grew up with this, so I'm not gonna... It's not like I'm gonna look at this trailer and be really nitpicky. For me, the trailer is more like, this movie's gonna be one of two things. It's gonna be Chronicle or that recent Fantastic Four. And that's a huge difference between... They both have the... Those two movies have the same director, but there's a huge difference between those two movies. So it could go either way, but yeah, fuck it. Why not?
I think it looks good. I'm hoping that the kid who plays Billy turns out to be gay. I think that would be a good addition. Because I'm
he's the
hoping
Blue
that,
Ranger,
Yeah, I'm
right?
hoping that Billy, the character, turns out to be gay. The kid who played Billy in the original series was gay and apparently got picked on quite a bit because of it, and that sucks. But it was the 90s. And the 90s fucking hated gay people for some reason.
Well, I just hope that the Black Ranger's still black and the Yellow Ranger's still... Otherwise, I'm going to be confused.
Yeah, it's very important that they color code them.
Thank you, exactly.
The pink one's a girl.
That's one thing they did right in the 90s, color coding race. Oh, saves me the confusion. Thank you so much.
What's even more awkward is that they also color coded their outfits that they'd wear when they were not being Power Rangers.
Yeah.
So like everyone else is dressed fucking normal, like Bulk and Skull were wearing like plaid and backwards caps, and then here comes fucking Yellow McGee.
Yeah.
There's another show that my brother used to watch around that era called Big Bad Beetleborgs.
Oh,
Do you
yeah, I remember
show?
that,
It
yeah.
had fucking Bruce Campbell on it. Where's the nostalgic remake of Big Bad Beetleborgs?
Yeah, where's VR Troopers?
Oh my god, I forgot about VR
The
Troopers.
Joe Pesci sounding dog. That's that one, right? With
Yeah.
the talking dog.
What about fucking Reboot? Do you remember Reboot?
No.
It was just like an all computer animated thing about people who lived in
Oh.
the computers and how they'd have to do battle with the players.
Okay, yeah, I remember that. I didn't watch the same with VR Troopers and Power Rangers. I didn't watch them, but I did. There was stuff on around that time that I would watch, so I would constantly see previews for all that shit. You know. Yeah, I remember
Saturday
that
on
now.
Fox Kids.
Yeah. I was probably watching Garfield and Friends.
Hidden Figures. Okay, so about the black ladies working at NASA.
Yeah, that was a new trailer for that. I hadn't seen that one.
It looks good.
I'd seen it does. Yeah, that does look pretty good.
My main takeaway was just that Parsons kid
Jim Parsons.
is never gonna not be Sheldon, and you have to feel bad for him.
God damn, I hate Sheldon Cooper. But I want to really like him in something. Because
Yeah.
it seems like, it's like,
He's good in the Muppets.
yeah, it seems like, oh, I hate that fuck actor, but I am like, I want to like you in something, dude. And maybe he'll be really good in this.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like he's playing a mathy nerd again, but maybe he'll be a mathy non-autistic nerd.
It looks like he's playing kind of like the antagonist, sort of.
Oh, I thought he was kind of on the same side as that black lady.
From the vibe I got from the trailer was like, if anyone in this group is like the racist in the group, it might be him.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's how he's breaking out of his shell, by being the bad guys and stuff.
Yeah.
Ghost in the Shell.
That, you know what? It is a good trailer. I can see why people are really upset about one certain aspect of it.
Yeah, well, because again, my little brother was a huge fan of that movie growing up.
Yeah.
And so like the other day, I heard like music in the other room, and I'm immediately like, oh, David's watching this very specific scene in Ghost in the Shell where Major Kusanagi is getting her outfit because it's a very recognizable song.
Yeah.
And I guess that it's because he'd seen that trailer and he wanted to compare the two to see how they
Oh,
lined up.
yeah.
And I can tell you right now, it wasn't nearly as good. But I can see their explanation for why she's not Japanese, but I don't agree with that decision.
No, and whatever answer they're going to give on that is probably bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good looking trailer. It really is. Like, it's cut together incredibly well. That one aspect is wildly distracting.
Yeah. And I mean, like, it's not just her that's not Japanese. So you get the idea that they're trying to kind of mitigate it by making it a melting pot of a city,
Mm-hmm.
but her name is Major Kusanagi. And no one calls her that in the trailer. They call her the Major.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it'll be good. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen the movie, since I've seen the other one. I remember liking it just fine. Again, like I said, like, yeah, this I can see why this is not sitting well with a lot of people.
Like, generally speaking, my rule of thumb is if someone from a particular racial group says this is racist, I'm like, okay, this is racist then. And they're super mad about this.
Yeah. Man. Sorry. As the producer of the film.
Yeah, our bad. We'll take the hit for this one.
Oops.
Wonder Woman.
That looks really good.
Are they saying it's supposed to be bad? Because I thought it looks good. Is it just that because of all the other terrible DC movies?
I mean, I'm sure people are a little leery because if this one turns out to be great, it'll be the first one that is. And I say that as someone who kind of liked Suicide Squad, despite the mass amount of flaws that movie had. At least
I didn't.
With Suicide Squad, it was like, well, okay, I was entertained, which is more than I can say about the other two movies. This, it looks really good. Mm-hmm. So have the other ones. Like, I hope it's good. I hope it is. It is.
Hope springs eternal.
Yeah, it is a fun trailer. It's like, well, what is it? Like, the law of averages or something like that. Eventually.
The law of large numbers?
Is that it? Where it's
Maybe.
like, well, eventually one of them's got to work.
It's called a broken clock is right twice a day.
No, this one, it seems like it has a decent sense of humor to it. It looks well made. It looks fun. Chris Pine looks really good, and as many people who are harping on that kind of theme music that she has, the thing that pops up on the ending.
I didn't even notice it.
Well, it's any of the trailers. It's that kind of guitar riff that's playing. It's what played in Batman v Superman when she showed up in the fight.
Everybody's going, Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. Oh, hell yeah! I like. That's one big criticism that even Dave said that about the little guitar riff that kind of plays. My feeling on that is like, you know what though? This is the only time I can think of in this kind of modern era of superhero movies where this is the only theme I can think of for a character that's instantly recognizable to me. I can't tell you what the fucking theme of Iron Man is. Any Marvel movie, really Man of Steel, except for maybe like the wong shit. But like the second I hear the Wonder Woman thing, I'm like, okay, that's Wonder Woman. So for me anyway.
In Iron Man, I only specifically remember because they said, "Don't worry, we're not going to play the song Iron Man," and they played the song Iron Man during the end credits. So that's the only.
I mean, more so like the actual like theme music, not like
this person
AC/DC
is showing up now.
Yeah, like because we all remember like the Danny Elfman Batman theme and the Superman theme and stuff like that. I can't tell you how most of the theme music goes in a lot of these superhero movies, but at least with Wonder Woman, it's like, yeah, okay, all right, like for better or worse, I remember that.
Yeah.
No, I think I want to see it. I hope it's good.
Kong.
Oh yeah, that looks good.
Yeah, apparently the reason it's called that is because someone else owns the right to the name King Kong.
No shit.
They're allowed to make a movie about a gigantic ape living on an island named Kong, as long as they never specifically call him King Kong.
And that's how they got away with Donkey Kong.
Yes. And Diddy Kong.
Or the Donkey Kong ripoff Crazy Kong.
Well, yeah, it looks good.
It does.
I love me some John C. Reilly.
Yeah, it looks kind of like a Predator movie, only it's King Kong instead of the Predator.
Well, plus it's like it's all serious and like the monkey and you know, everyone be like, and then hey you guys, I'm John C. Reilly. We're all gonna die, derp. Yay! You're fulfilling the role you fulfill in every movie you're in.
Yeah. especially Boogie Nights, is gonna have a huge penis in this.
I still need to see Boogie Nights.
Oh, classic. So
John
good.
C. Reilly's in it.
Oh yeah, he plays Chest Rockwell.
I'd watch that fucking Cirque du Freak movie if they put it on Netflix just to see John C. Reilly in it. Did you ever see that one?
No, I never did see that.
He plays like a spider vampire or something.
Sold.
It's based on a manga. Sing.
Damn, we did get a lot of trailers. Oh, fucking Sing. You know what? That movie might turn out to be perfectly fine.
Probably gonna be fine.
It'll probably be fine, but fuck the advertising for that shit. God damn, I'm sick of that. Ugh.
Like, I saw the picture that you took, and I thought that you were like exaggerating somewhat
No.
with the angle, and I walked in, and it was just like fucking spackled the walls.
Yeah, there are Sing posters on top of Sing posters. There are Sing posters attached to other posters. Fuck off with your Sing shit.
They're like Sing-themed doors and Sing-themed stanchions. And
Illumination, man. Fucking Illumination movies, and someone humble them for the love of fucking God.
when that preview first popped up and it had the Minions, it said like Illumination and the Minions lineup. I'm like, fuck, they're making another Minions movie.
No, they just have them in
They're
front
just
of
like the bouncing light of Illumination, I suppose.
Yeah, they just always have them on the Illumination logos, and even in the movies, there's advertisement for there's an advertisement for Sing in Secret Life of Pets. There's one part in Sing where he's wearing a mask of a character from Secret Life of Pets. Like, fuck. You know what? It'll probably be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I'm just sick of the advertising.
It looks cute. It looks like we're gonna put on a show. Mm-hmm. And I like pop music, and it seems like it's gonna be pretty pop music heavy. So.
Was that it?
That's it.
All 12 trailers we got in front of this. Alright. Well,
you got another movie tonight, don't you?
I do. Me and Irving are going to see Edge of 17. There he is. Which is a great idea, because seeing how we're both 17-year-old girls.
You're gonna have a lot to say on that subject.
Well, I do love Stevie Nicks, so, Edge of 17, I hope the song's on the soundtrack. Otherwise, 0 stars.
Just like a white-winged dove.
See it.